Did Purdy put any QB controversy to? For the record, Mac Jones was also cheering on Brock Purdy.
Hold on. You're the vibes guy.
Yeah.
How'd those vibes look?
It looked great. It looked great. Brew, I think everybody won in this scenario. Mac Jones proves that he's a great quarterback.
Well, hold on. Great quarterback?
Looks like it to me. Run the numbers. Run the numbers. Is he bottom 15 in a lot of stuff? Not great. It's fluid.
Great is a little far.
Solid. How about solid?
What he did to me is show he deserves a shot somewhere. Like he earned a shot to start somewhere. And it might not be for 2 years. Like Nick brought up a good point last week. If you're the Niners, even if Brock plays the rest of the year, looks good, you might want to keep Mac because of Brock's injury history.
Now, Brock would want him out of there, but I think it's.
I mean, that's human nature. To be honest, you probably would. But what's the question? Because this is really about you. You were the one, pounding the table, saying Mac Jones is better than Brock Purdy.
Stay out of the Niners.
All I said was played the best quarterback.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Like, well, when you look at his contract, it's like Nick's haircut. Gotta
All right, look, I'm going to give you the most oranges to oranges comparison possible.
Great.
We always get oranges to apples, and there's a little something different here or there. This right here is oranges to oranges. Both of them this season against the Arizona Cardinals. With Purdy, they put up 41. With Mac, they put up 16. Purdy's passer rating, 60 points, 50 points better. Completion percentage, 3 touchdowns, 1-1 for Mac. That's nice for a backup. Yards per attempt, I mean, everything.
Well, the pass yards, not quite.
Yeah, Mac threw for more yards. That's it.
I mean, I think this was his first game ever with the team, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? I mean,
he played
Purdy,
2 games, right? And then he got hurt, and then I think he came in, and then week 4, Brock was back and played.
Mac had a whole week to prepare, like Shador. Game plan based on him.
So. I mean,
and this is Purdy was
the
coming.
Passing yards are out.
Purdy was coming. Here's the thing Purdy has shown.
It's oranges to oranges because of who they played and the stats are there. But the guys who played in this game,
McCaffrey was in both.
Where was Kittle?
Kittle was out one, but Pearsall
Which one was Kittle out? Don't just say he was out one. He was out
for Max.
We clearly
so what?
He's got the job.
Was Kittle going to put up 25 points?
He's got the job.
Here's the one thing.
I'm pro Brock. I don't know how I got decided.
For the last month, you have been ready to send him packing.
No,
don't act like now I'm pro
meritocracy. That's all I want. I said start the better quarterback.
Okay.
If Brock Purdy is better than Mac Jones, start him. That's fine. But trying to get him in there because of his contract, I thought that was terrible.
We agree, and we've said we're not just going to base it on contract. But that is just the fact of the matter is he's got the contract, he's going to play.
Yes,
but
I'm rooting for Brock.
The one thing that Purdy does have over Mac, and maybe Mac will even the score later on in his career, but like Darnold, Daniel Jones, we're wondering what will even Dak and Jared Goff to some degree in the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying Purdy's been Mahomes in the playoffs, but he has shown that poise. First playoff game, throws for 300 yards in a win, then leads game-winning drives in the playoffs.
Too big for him.
Right, and in the Super Bowl, he played, well enough. And so even this game, there was pressure on him because Mac did play well.
The Cardinals?
No, but Mac was playing well.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying he has the poise where he doesn't let the moment scare him.
I'm so happy.
We don't know if Mac has it.
I'm so happy. After 2 years of me having to carry.
Yeah, it goes into commercial. Clears throat. I do agree with what Bruce is saying about Purdy having that on like a Daniel Jones. Although Daniel Jones played great in his first ever playoff game, was the leading rusher, led the New York Giants against a top team Minnesota Vikings. So, like, Daniel Jones has succeeded in the playoffs too, but it does matter that Brock Purdy has shown, like, he was in the literal Super Bowl, and we could say he had a stacked team, and Shanahan, like, yeah, that's all fine. That's all fair and well and good. but like he wasn't a liability. He wasn't a disaster. He didn't, you know, cough the ball up 3-4 times, which like we see those things happen, obviously. And so that is a massive checkbox. Although I'm not going to assume that M. Jones can't handle it, because M. Jones has been thrown in a lot of bizarre and weird situations, and he's shown to be resilient as well, but I have no desire to try to compare M. Jones to Rocky right now. I mean, that just seems unnecessary to me. Clears throat. M. Jones can be really successful and show a lot of growth and poise and confidence and skill and success with the 49ers, and it not take away anything from Brock Purdy. And some people are like, well, yeah, but like Brock Purdy's were, you know, it's a difference between like $200 and some million, and it's like, yeah, that's all well and good, but if you consistently got the play that out of M. Jones that you got this season out of him, he would be signing a deal a lot more than, what did he sign a deal for? Like 9 million or 6 million, whatever the heck it was. Like he would be getting a lot more money as well. So, you know, you can't necessarily just look at it through that lens. You know, it is kind of funny, because when I used to talk about like a Purdy or Hurts and stuff like that, I would talk about it and be like, man, you know, like these are two quarterbacks who constantly, they're constantly discussed in such a harsh lens and such a narrow lens, and, you know, rarely ever given the benefit of the doubt or this. And Jalen Hurts, you know, helped his case, obviously winning the Super Bowl and all that. But even so, and then I really just kind of reached the conclusion that like pretty much every quarterback is constantly on the chopping. I mean, we're having conversation about Patrick Mahomes. Is he already in the decline? Lamar Jackson doesn't look right. Josh Allen had 6 total touchdowns, but he did throw 2 interceptions. They're like, I don't know about that, right? Like, Daniel Jones is having some success. Then he has a bad game, and it's like, this is the real Daniel Jones. Same thing with Sam Darnold. Jane Daniels was the king of the world last year. This year, he was injured and played when he did play. He wasn't fully healthy, and his team was decimated with injuries, and they're like, he's not that good, you know, sophomore slump, and it's like, what? You know, and so we do this with every single quarterback for every single team. It's hard to get the benefit of the doubt, you know. I mean, and it really is heavy, is the head that wears the crown, and you get all the money, you get all the glory, you get all the benefits, and it's like, you know, it's just how it works. And talking about the quarterbacks, you know, in football, it's just the easiest thing to do relative to any of the other things, because football is so complicated, so complex. You have 1 million. You have more coaches than many other teams have, than many other sports have, like players. There's like more coaches on an NFL team than an NBA roster. I mean, like it's bonkers. So it's just there's just so much going into these wins and losses that I really think that it just makes things a little bit simpler when we're just like Purdy, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. And the only time we want to start to have more nuanced conversations is when the quarterback, who we all love and praise and think is amazing, if they lose, if something goes wrong, we're like, well, now what about the defense? How about that play call? Well, the old line isn't perfect right now, but if we don't love and worship that quarterback, we don't want to give them anything, any benefit of the doubt whatsoever. And it's interesting, you know, Geno Smith is such a great example of this. He threw for 238 yards against the Dallas Cowboys, 64.3% completion percentage, had to throw the ball 42 times, and was pressured 19. Okay, if this was a quarterback that we really liked, we would say, oh my God, they asked him to drop back 49 times. You know, he had to throw the ball 42 times. Like, that's just too much. You know, you really want your quarterback to only throw around 25 to 30 times. And then they're like, well, of course he had no time in the pocket. You know, he was pressured 19 times and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you're not having that conversation about Geno Smith. Why? Because people don't care. Patrick Mahomes has a rough game against the Buffalo Bills. And it's like, well, he was pressured 16 times, and what, he had no time in the pocket. And, you know, what did you want him to do? And it just, and don't get obsessed with the whole Patrick Mahomes. That's just the most recent example that I can think of. There's many other quarterbacks, so we don't have to jump to the Super Bowls and this or that. It's just, we name other quarterbacks, Hurts, Jared Goff, whoever the heck you want. Jared Goff was uncomfortable all game against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles defense did an amazing job. Collinsworth pointed out Jared Goff was uncomfortable. He goes, he's had in Philadelphia Eagles defender in his lap immediately, seemingly every single play, and yet nobody was necessarily jumping to try to defend him. They were all like, it was cold, it was windy, he's got small hands, he's not that good, he's a liability. And it's like, you know, and so Purdy just doesn't get any of that benefit. None of it. So then we're forced to have takes where we're just like, well, let's compare him to the Cardinal, Jones and the Cardinals versus Purdy versus the Cardinals, and you're just like, this isn't it either. Like this isn't the conversation either. And I don't think a quarterback like a Brock Purdy ever inherently puts the controversy to bed unless you win multiple Super Bowls. Even Jalen Hurts right now, and I'm going to be making a separate video about that. But there's like the talk about people inside the building are unhappy with Hurts, and there's a feeling that they like wish they could move on or whatever. And like, that's the one who literally won the Super Bowl MVP and was a massive contributor as to why they won the Super Bowl. And and so there's always a little bit of a controversy lingering. Always. If the Bengals had if Jake Browning had a lot of success, if he had the levels of success that a Joe Flacco was having before Flacco kind of hit a little bit of a wall, and if Jake Browning was kind of having that level of success, people would really start to talk about, do they move on from Joe Burrow? He can stay healthy. It's time to maybe, what could they get for him? Would the Raiders be willing to trade 2 firsts for, Joel Burrow? Like you kind of get in that whole interesting conversation about it. If Tanner McKee, and this is what's going to be my Eagles take, it's like Tanner McKee, the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, he played like 1 or 2 regular seasons game. I think at least 1 regular season game last year. And then he played like unbelievable in a preseason game. So it doesn't it only mean so much, but like there is a feeling of like, dude, Tanner McKee is legit, and I think he could be a good quarterback. But like, my whole thing is kind of like, if Tanner McKee is truly legit, they know it in practice. The coaching staff knows it. Harry Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, they know it. They would be like, let's Jalen Hurts, you might be concussed or your ankle's a little rough. We want to protect you. We're gonna have Tanner McKee get in there. Like you shoot your shot a lot of times. You kind of can get aggressive in some of these situations. They did it with Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz. And so now the 49ers had M. Jones, who had a lot of success. Brock Purdy is absolutely the main person in front of them. Perry has now been banged up a couple times. There's no reason to believe that MC Jones wouldn't want to stay there. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, this is where it's so interesting, because if Shanahan says like, no, there's no controversy. We don't even want to have M. Jones in the building because that can kind of make things a little weird. Then that is a huge belief in Brock Pro, not only his talents, but specifically his health and his ability to stay healthy. But at the same time, if you weren't worried about any emotional resonance of any of this, you would want to keep M. Jones. And if you're M. Jones, because Brock Brady has gotten banged up and you had the success here, you're willing to say, yeah, I'll stay. I'll definitely stay here for another year and hang out here. You never know. I get to continue to develop. I can continue to get better, and I already put out on film what I can do. That's not really changing. You're not going to actually really lose that coaching. You can lose some buzz if you have an amazing year as like an offensive coordinator and you're like, I'm going to stick around here. Like Ben Johnson, for instance, he decided, I'm going to stick around with Detroit in 24 if Detroit's offense just didn't quite look right. He loses a big buzz. Yeah, people will still probably want to hire him, but he would have lost maybe a little bit of shine, not unlike what's happening to Cliff Kingsbury right now. Not really his fault, but Jane Daniels got injured, and now you're with Marcus Mariota, and people aren't singing his praises as much. What MC Jones has done, if he says, I'm going to stay another year with the 49ers and whatnot, as long as he doesn't now get another opportunity and then completely fail, there's going to be teams that are still like, ooh, we want to take a flyer on M. Jones. Like, we are still interested. We've seen this again and again and again. We've seen it with Sam Darnold. We've seen it with Daniel Jones. We've seen it with Justin Fields. And you can make the argument, and I don't think it's that much of an argument. Monsieur Jones has shown more in the limited times. Sam Darnold obviously got to now play with the Vikings and the Seahawks. So it's like, obviously now he's on a different trajectory, but like in their short little narrow, hey, here's your chance, kid. What do you got? Like, he's already shown enough where like, yes, a team will absolutely say, yeah, we were totally comfortable rolling the dice with this guy and getting like a legitimate contract. And M. Jones never really got that real contract. He did get first-round money, so that is still a chunk of change for a quarterback. So he's not hurting for money, but like, I wouldn't be surprised, when you think about it, he had one good year, Baker, a successful year with the Bucks. Then they gave him his under $0 million contract. The Sam Darnold had his, one good year with the Minnesota Vikings, and the Seahawks were like, okay, we'll give you $100 million. So it's like, that is the one thing that could then, you know, what team could potentially offer that to a Mac Jones? And so it's, I don't know, things could get interesting in some of these places, but I mean, I don't know if a controversy ever quite leaves a quarterback like that. Even a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those quarterbacks have, because they're who they are and their hypermobility. It's like they have their window. And as soon as those quarterbacks start to lose a step, as soon as Lamar Jackson starts to lose some of his mobility, as soon as Josh Allen starts to get more banged up and whatnot, people are kind of like, do the Bills draft? Well, they did draft. Will they draft so-and-so? Yeah, it was a third-round quarterback, but still, quarterback controversy is always lurking behind you, man. It just always is. So I don't think it ever goes away, especially for someone how Brock Purdy is viewed right now. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Brock Purdy? Did he put the quarterback controversy to bed with the San Francisco 49ers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so they agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. It's something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.